madaming nakapagtanong from my previous video when I posted a video about me coming to France as to study, not as a student alone, but just to study, kung paano ba yung administrative paperwork na entailed dun sa journey ko na yun. I mean, I really don't like visa processing. Ever since I was 17, I had to deal with so many visa processing na, and it's such a pain kahit saan ka magpunta, sa totoo lang. Pero I had to go through it in order to pursue my dreams. Just kidding. But yeah, so I moved to France. Unfortunately, madaming nakapag-isip na baka naka-student visa ako, and I'm very sorry to say na hindi student visa yung kinuha ko when I moved to France, so I can't really help you on that. Pero, I know for a fact na yung university na pinasukan ko would have been able to help you process your student visa very smoothly. I mean, may mga classmates ako na from the Philippines, from different Asian countries from everywhere actually, and naka-student visa sila. They were able to come to France with their student visa, so it was a very smooth process. In fact, I think mas madali pang kunin yung student visa nila kesa dun sa pinagdaanan ko as a spouse visa. A lot of people think, so yeah, my husband is French, kaya kumuha na lang ako ng spouse visa to come here to France. A lot of people thought that time na, oh, okay, spouse visa pala, so madali lang for you. The truth is it was very complicated. Na, as in, medyo nakaka-stress talaga siya, even emotionally. Kasi ang dami mong kailangang i-provide na requirements as opposed to just a student visa processing. So, hindi siya biro-birong visa. So, they really needed a lot of proof from me to make sure na, I don't know, mostly, yung proof na hiningi nila is to make sure na, the way I say this, to make sure na mahal ko yung husband ko at hindi visa lang yung habol ko sa kanya. Which, for me, was very weird because we've been married that time almost, 8-9 years na. And we have a little boy. We have a kid together. So, ang hassle lang kasi I had to prove a lot of things. So I had to have a letter basically testifying na no, when we move to France, I will stay with my husband. Hindi ako makikipaghiwalay sa kanya as soon as I get the visa and stuff like that. We also had to provide pictures of us together nung kinasal kami, from the time we got married until we had our kid, until that day, to date, nung nagpa-process kami ng visa. So parang sa akin, medyo masakit siyang isipin na kailangang madaming requirements. Pero maybe hindi lang ako sanay, but I had to go through all of that. On top of that, hindi basta-basta yung naging visa processing namin kasi we met in Hawaii. My husband and I met in Hawaii, and we decided to get married in Hawaii. So that's United States policy in terms of getting married. So our marriage certificate is a US-based marriage certificate. So kinailangan ko pa yang i-declare sa Philippine government para ma-recognize sa Philippine government. And then from there, kailangan ko din siyang i-declare sa French government para ma-recognize naman ng French government and do the translations and all that stuff. So ang daming paikot-ikot. So basically, our life today, I have like 3 different marriage certificates. The one from the US, from the Philippines, from France. The same goes for my child kasi he was born in the US. So meron akong 3 birth certificate niya. Birth certificate niya from the US, from the Philippines, and then from here din sa France. So napakadaming hassle, sa totoo lang. Pero what's very nice about it, I processed my visa with VFS Global, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And they were very well detailed, as in they really give you a good list of all of the requirements. And then they were very responsive as well kung may mga questions ka. And then on the day, basically nung magda-drop off na kami nung lahat ng required nilang documents, I had some missing paper na hindi ko na i-provide. Wala siya sa list, pero parang medyo kind of common sense dapat siya, but I did not see that. So may mga missing documents ako. Pero they still accepted the folder anyway, and they said they will still go ahead and process it since yung mga missing documents ko are minor lang naman. And then I can then drop off the rest of the documents the following day or the day after dun sa same office. Which was very convenient kasi I can't imagine kung kinakailangan ko na namang mag-book ng appointment over again kasi you have to kind of wait na merong mag-free na slot, ganyan. So we did that, and then after a couple of weeks, I think, they would ask you to go back to pick up your passport. And this is very weird. I mean, when I applied for a US student visa, if you guys want to know about that, then maybe I can make another video about that. But when I applied for a US visa, on the day that I applied, I already know if I got the visa or not. So when they called me to pick up my passport and my visa, I already know what to expect kasi alam ko na-approve na ako or na-deny or something like that. But in the French embassy's case, they accept all of your documents, so the whole folder, lahat ng requirements, they would accept. And then they won't say anything. They say, okay, we'll process this. And then they will just let you know after a couple of weeks or so na you can already go ahead and pick up your passport. And when you do show up sa window, until mahawakan mo yung passport, hindi mo pa rin alam kung approved ka na ba or denied ng visa. So, the whole time, it was like, sobrang stressful ng biyahe papunta sa Makati, sa embassy. Just to pick up a passport kasi I'm not sure kung na-approve na ba or hindi. Will I make it to the school year or should I have a backup plan? Can I apply for a student visa instead kung hindi ako ma-approve as a spouse visa and all that stuff? So, ang daming iniisip, ang daming kailangan isipin before you finally go and pick it up. But then, we picked it up and they would give you your passport. Hindi pa rin nila sasabihin sa'yo kung na-approve ka ba or hindi. They would just be like, here you go. Okay, ito na yung passport mo. May mga kasamang papel na chenes, ganyan. Ito na yung passport mo. Okay, thank you, bye, ganyan. And then, dun mo na pwedeng i-open yung passport mo after kang mag-bye-bye sa window. Open mo yung passport mo to find out kung nandun ba yung visa nakastamp or not. But in my case, of course, the visa was stamped there. It was very smooth nonetheless. Stressful siya, pero very smooth naman ng process. And very quick din. And it was free. Apparently, if you're a spouse of a French national, you don't need to pay for your visa fees and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I used to enter France. And that also entitles me to study, to work, everything. Basically, all of the benefits of an actual resident here in France. But that one was only valid for 1 year. Kasi ang initial na visa na bibigay sa'yo as a French spouse is only 1 year. And that's what I had. And my school year is 2 years. 2 years span siya. So, hindi siya talaga related at all. Pero, I needed to make sure na before mag-expire yung first year ko, makukuha ko na agad yung second year or onwards. Or else, I will have to stop everything I started in school. Nakaka-stress na naman siya. The whole year, waiting for the renewal of the visa and stuff was another full-on stressful moment. I hear my classmates also who were on student visa was pretty much stressed. Pero their stress came in after the second year. Nung patapos na yung program namin. Unlike for me, the whole first year ko dito sa France was about, am I gonna stay here? Am I gonna be kicked out next year? I'm working hard for my studies. Makaka-graduate ba ako? Kasi andito pa ba ako sa pag-graduation na and all that stuff. So it was still kind of stressful. And on top of that, I had to do it all by myself. My fellow students had some assistance from the university at least. Yung sa akin, since spouse visa siya, the school has nothing to do with it. Ako lang yung nagpa-process. And my husband was already working. And usually, sa first year mo ng work, syempre, hindi ka masyado munang magte-take ng day off, ganyan. So, I was going through all of the paperworks, nag-visit ng immigration, all by myself on most cases. Sometimes he could take some days off. My husband could join me. Pero a lot of times, I was alone and it was all in French. So, ang hirap, as in. And I had to renew my visa after 1 year. And after nung 1 year, yung next na visa na ibibigay sa'yo is 2 years. So, 2 years lang na naman, hindi ka na naman, hindi ka pa rin sure na mag-i-stay ka dito. Now, yung agony ko naman at that time was that, okay, now may trabaho na ako, valid yung visa ko for another 2 years. Paano kung along the way, hindi ako ma-approve? I have to resign from my job. I have to go back to the Philippines and leave everything that I've worked hard behind. So, super stressful na naman siya. Full on 2 years, visa processing, ang daming documents na hiningi even though it's just renewal. Kasi dito sa France, gusto nila lahat ng documents mo is recent. So, the past 3 months, including your birth certificate, yung mga ganyan, dapat recent sila and translated into French. So, it's such a pain. So, after 2 years, I got, just very recently, I was able to get my residence card. So, finally, 10 years na siya. 10 years residence card na siya. And the only difficult part with that, I guess, is kailangan mo ng specific level of French. So I had to take a French exam and I had to reach a specific level. To be very specific, it's B1. B1 ba? Teka lang. No, A2 level of French. Pero ako kasi I took the B1 exam now, which is another level higher, para pwede ko na rin gamitin yung same exam results for my citizenship application coming up soon. So yeah, that was my visa processing. I don't know kung madami sa inyo yung makaka-relate, pero kung meron man, I would very much love to help you kasi I've been through so much. I would want it to be smoother for other people as much as possible. I wish I had someone to talk to during that time, pero like I always say, sobrang weird kasi nung situation namin as a family kasi nga we're not only multinational, like my husband and I, we're not from the same country. We even started our family in another country, and now we're in a totally new, different country. I don't know why we're doing this to ourselves, but so it's such a struggle, and it's very specific scenario na I literally have no one to talk to or ask questions about what I'm going through. So kung may isang tao man dyan na going through the exact same scenario as me, I would very much love to help you. Kung may questions naman kayo about student visa or basically student life here in France in general, please do let me know then. I did get to talk to a lot of fellow Filipinos who tried to study here in France. They contacted me on LinkedIn and tried to help them with as much advice and tips as I could, as much as possible, kasi that's also very important. I mean, I would have loved to have the same person giving me all of this advice and tips and maybe welcoming me when I moved to France. Pero wala akong nahanap na something like that back in my days. So yeah, I would very much be happy to help anybody in need. And if you just have questions in general about how to become a student here in France and all, like I said in my last video, then please let me know. I probably won't see all of your comments, but you can always reach out to me via LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn URL in the About Me section, or maybe I'll put it in the description box as well for your reference. So yeah, I am talking so much already about this. Sorry kung na-disappoint ko din yung iba who were hoping na naka-student visa ako when I moved here in France. Pero I can guarantee you most universities would really help you get that visa. I rarely heard of someone who got declined for a student visa to at least our university, for example, from the Philippines, because hindi sila tinulungan or wala silang enough help na nakuha from the university. So that is something. Once you get a university who accepted you into a program, your visa should come along just fine. I mean, it's the same for me when I studied in the US. And that's my very first visa ever as a human being. And that's the United States. So, kayang-kaya, kumbaga. So yeah, feel free to let me know if you have questions. Sana nakatulong ito sa inyo. And sana matulungan ko kayo in the future if you need any help. And that's it for today. Thank you!